Hello, Tom the Wetner, the conversationalist. How's everybody doing? Like, subscribe, share, comment, send me nastygrams, whatever. How you doing? It's a cold day here in upstate New York. Went to Dunkin Donuts this morning, had a coffee with the guys. You know, the old guys, the people that should not be out in public without a handler. Let's face it, you get a bunch of old guys in Dunkin Donuts with all these manner of people coming in and out, especially college students, and it's a setup for trouble. We don't mean to get in trouble. We don't mean to be. I wanted to say sarcastic, but that's not really it. Provocateurs. How's that? That's a good word. I like that word. Provocateurs. But it seems to happen, especially when you got some guy in his pajama bottoms, a winter coat, fuzzy slippers, looking like he just dragged himself out of bed. And the only thing he wants is a cup of coffee, right? But you got these old guys. There was nine of us today talking about how much they like his pajama pants with the little bunnies on it. And it's not going to take much of that to get somebody riled up, even if they are half asleep. So I think we do need a handler or somebody to be an intermediate between us and the real world. But we did solve a lot of problems. So, I got 45 minutes to get out all the things that we solved. Now, right now, the big thing is what is going on in the criminal justice department? We have had two people attempting to assassinate Trump. We got a CEO taken out, right? You haven't heard anything about number one or number two, the guy who blew off the ear and the guy who almost blew off the ear, right? They've disappeared. So Craig was saying, well, what about the other guy? He went for his arraignment and he hired an attorney, which is a great attorney from New York City, a great win loss record, mostly criminal trials. And because this attorney has gotten into court a couple of times and said, you know, the government hasn't proven their case or whatever road she's down. You haven't heard anything about him for 5 days. So let's contrast this. Benny said if they have these three people in custody, obviously they know where they are. They don't want another Epstein problem, so they're probably watching them really well. However, we have so many drone, I think it's like 1,400 drone uh, actual incidents that were drones, not helicopters or planes or satellite balloons. Or one guy reported the space station. That was pretty funny. Um, and the government's silent about it. They're not saying shit. And Trump comes out and says the government knows what's going on. And I was like, oh, we can't get into this for the sec. This is the second term. We can't get into this. Want your ass down there and say what's going on. This is what happened in the second term. You waited for people to come talk to you, and nobody talked to you. And when they did, they lied to you. You can't see it happening again. Oh my goodness. So Joe, as was known as Joey Bag of Donuts, he, his interpretation is kill it or eat it in everything in life. It's just the way he thinks. So he pops up with his plan. His plan is to let the guy who shot the CEO go to jail for 10 years. The guy that hit Trump should be publicly executed as a deterrent to everybody else. And the idiot that had the gun sticking through the chain link fence, he should be interrogated until he can't even remember his own name and find out exactly what's behind this. Now, you got to remember Joey's a Vietnam vet who never came back. And what I mean by that, he has so much PTSD. He's like JC. These guys will have a conversation where they halfway through the conversation, they're talking about something that happened 50 years ago in a bar in Saigon. They were talking about a bar incident from 2 days ago, and all of a sudden they're back in Vietnam talking about a bar incident. It's that PTSD is so insidious, and it's so you think you root out a little bit of the problem, but there's so much. It's like whack-a-mole. As soon as you get one, another one pops up, another problem or another trigger for these poor guys. Um, I feel sorry for anybody. And it doesn't have to be from war. It could be from injury. It could be from loss. It could be whatever. PTSD knows no boundaries. So I feel sorry for people who have PTSD. And I know that some people are coping with it and some people function and some people don't. Some people just don't even get involved in society. So we decided that the way to do this is everybody should self medicate with whatever they want until they find relief. That means, like, if you want to use mushrooms or you want to use uh, wacky weed laced with whatever you want, you should be able in this country right now be able to experiment under a doctor's consideration to get something that really works for you. Like right now, I'm going through this AFib. Besides the dog driving me crazy, which he's at training right now, thank God, or he'd be on my lap. Um, I just, for some reason, the last 3 days, I get it under control and then it pops off. And then I didn't sleep last night, didn't sleep much the night before because when it pops off, it provokes a lot of anxiety. What's the next thing going to be? A stroke? And the reason I bring this up was because I was talking about AFib and uh, talking about going to Albany, where most of my doctors are. And so I called up my friends at Miller Aviation, which is a Miller Executive Jets or something now. Who knows? Aviation's a too old of a word, I guess. Wright brothers were aviation, right? We're now Executive Jets. So his son said he could fly me up, but if he flew me up this afternoon, he couldn't bring me back until tomorrow because he's got trips booked out. Or he could fly me up tomorrow morning and bring me back around noon. So, with it being in the afternoon now, I think I'll just postpone until tomorrow. But I got to do something. And the way they do it is they convert you, which is a nice way to say they shock you, with those paddles. Bang! So you have these two big bruises, and now I have four of them. So I'm bringing it up because, people don't listen to you until it's a panic situation in most cases. They know it's going on. They know what they have to do, but they just don't do it. I do it. I'm procrastinator too. So Benny says, what is AFib? So uh, Mike, who's the doctor of the group, explains AFib, and he got it wrong. Well, he's not a cardiac doctor or whatever. He worked on knees and shoulders and uh, hips and things his whole life. So after he was done talking, I said, "Well, another way to look at it," and I gave him my spiel on AFib, which is a little bit closer to what really it is than his. But then he's been retired for about 20 years, so we can. He's in his 80s. We'll just give him a attaboy and a go by. Uh, so Benny's saying, yeah, I think I have that. He says, it happens at night when I'm laying down a lot. I said, do you sit back up and does it stop? He says, yeah, isn't that weird? I do. I sit up and it's less, but I have this anxiety already about it coming back. And that's insidious about AFib. You have it, it goes away. Now you're worried about when it's coming back. It's stupid. And my daughter's always saying, Dad, you have AFib. You have AFib all the time. I said, yeah, I do, Brianne. I said, I do. I absolutely do. But sometimes AFib is capital A and sometimes it's little a. And right now I'm running through capital A's. Or actually, it looks like the logo triple A. So, yeah, if Cooper was here, his nose would be right at my mouth, smelling pheromones and sitting on my lap, so I couldn't do anything. But luckily for us, he's off being trained to be a service dog. So we'll wait for him to come back and see how he reacts. Um, oh, another thing we solved. You guys are going to be so happy with us about this. How are we going to help President Trump and Elon and Shuami and JFK Jr.? How do we get them out? Robert Kennedy, whatever. How do we help them to get decentralized? Well, practicality is the boomer, right? We just look at a problem, we solve it, and we go away grumbling. We show up grumbling, we go away grumbling. But in the middle, we get the problem solved. It cracks me up. My wife is even this way. They'll get to a certain point in a problem and throw their hands up and say, "Well, that's it. I'm defeated. I can't fix it." Excuse me, honey. If we don't fix this, the house will blow up. It's not something we can just throw our hands up and say, "Well, I did the best I could." And that's the way a lot of the younger people, my sons and daughter-in-laws are the same way. I see it in my older grandchildren. Nobody has that uh, anxiety to get it done and get it done right. It's just get it done. Where's the duct tape? That's what I'm calling this new repair cycle of the world. Where's the duct tape? So, oh, that's not original, by the way. I got to give that to Joey. Anyway, where's the duct tape? I think that's what his Christmas present is going to be, 5 rolls of duct tape. Because we do this, exchange. Everybody picks a name out of the hat at Thanksgiving, and then we get a present for them. Most of the time, they're totally inappropriate. But once in a while, you get a bottle of booze or something, so it's worth the effort. It might be 20 years old and something that nobody ever drank in their lives. And they found it, they wrapped it, brought it in. So let's help them. Let's figure out how to decentralize all this bullshit and get people really working for us, and not wasting our money. Well, we have all these apps on these wonderful box, and we have all these people. Now, stay with me because this is going to be so simplistic. You're going to say, "Huh?" We have Airbnb. We have uh, vacation, whatever. We have all of these sites that basically they're there to put you into a house or an apartment or a condo, somewhere you want to be, whether it's for a week, a month, a year. Maybe you're going there for a year for work, right? Get the idea? These people are going for work. Dun, 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 dun. So we hook them up with these people. That's their job. and they're good at it. And we just ship all these. We want. Here's a list of 500 people. We want them southwest corner of Virginia. Here's a list of 500 people. We want them in Raleigh, North Carolina. Figure out the logistics. Problem solved. Problem is solved. Now you're going to say to me, well, Tom, if you move the people out but not the infrastructure, how is that going to work? Dun, 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 dun. You ever heard of the United Movers? You ever heard of uh, two two college hunks and a truck? These people are experts. All you have to do is find another place to put this stuff. Then you call these guys up. Hey, two hunks from college who move shit, heavy shit. Come down. I'll meet you at the former FBI building, and I'll show you where everything has to go, and we'll tag it, and you guys just, as you can, just ship it out. United would be there with 50 18-wheelers in the morning. United Movers. That's a big company. I don't see why that wouldn't work. You've got the industry built in to move people, and you have the industry to built in to move large amounts of mechanical shit and desks and whatever, cubicles, files. See where I'm going with this? Now we got all these companies that need workers. Hey, and we've got the trucking industry backing up, and the uh, guys that sell fuel, tires. Gladys at the diner, she's making tips over hand over fist. See how this goes? Come on, do the cha cha with me. We solved the problem, and we put people to work, and we put money into the economy. This is the win-win-win of Dunkin' Donuts. This is going to get, I guarantee you, when we do the year-end wrap-up, this is going to be the number one project that we solved the best way. Let me recap this for you, the people in the back of the room that are asleep. All you F's. Let me just say, we use the present infrastructure. We don't rebuild it, or we don't build it from scratch. We use what we have in moving people, and we use what we have in moving crap, files, desks, chairs, whatever. And your only participation is to find which place goes to which place. I think we're freaking geniuses. I I I can't believe that 9 guys sitting in Dunkin' Donuts came up with that idea. Meanwhile, barking at the women that come in and the guys that are weird, and it's you got to be able to multitask when you're at Dunkin' Donuts, because it's always changing. People always coming and going, people dropping their food, other people getting into arguments with other people. I was here first, but I ordered through the app, and it's very entertaining. But through all this entertainment, this no, forget it, fun, we solved a major issue. So we put the secretary involved, Manning, and he's supposed to write an email to Trump and um, Elon and Shiwami and say, look, guys, the guys from Dunkin' Donuts and Binghamton, New York have solved this problem. We hope that it helps. If you guys hadn't thought about it, maybe you could include it and just give us a little byline, just give us a shout out, something like that. So We'll see what happens. Wouldn't it be nice, next time you come on, I have a little banner recognized for his for the solutions to problems. Donald Trump. Or maybe just a handwritten note that says, go to hell. We already thought about that. Anyway, time to enter the conversation. Let's like and subscribe. Oh, by the way, St. Jude. Doo, 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 doo. Come on, guys, Christmas time. Put a little of that Christmas money away and send it to St. Jude. Good people doing good work. God bless them. And aortic hope. Another group of people that are just making life better for other people and not have their hand out looking for a patent or a service fee. You know what I mean? So give them a little love this time of Christmas and Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Put your hand in your pocket and get that last 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or 100 and send it out. I know they'll put it to good use. It isn't like they're sending it out and you'll never know where it goes because everything's out on that site. I mean, it's a little scary. Everybody knows everybody's business. So that's pretty funny. I like it. It just fits it within my lifestyle sometimes. People being open and honest. Anyway, the things that were discussed other than our major contribution to decentralizing the monopoly of bureaucrats, we did solve another big problem. How are we going to get out of the Ukraine war and the Israeli war? Well, the most important thing is money in both issues. Now, I remember President Trump saying that he would cut off, he just wants the killing to stop. He doesn't care how it stops or why it stops. He just wants the killing to stop, which was a really good line. It stuck with a lot of people. But to get them to stop, you have to turn the faucet off. What I mean by the faucet, I'm talking the flow of money, honey, in both situations. So why don't we do that? Now, Biden just okayed another $800 million to Ukraine, and everybody's saying, well, they'll never see the cash because they can't move it that quick, but they will see the military supplies because they can move those that quick. Trouble is, we're running out of military supplies. Ammos, 20 millimeters, Scranton's working 7 days a week, double shifts, and they can't keep up. You didn't know that, did you? Yeah, we're in that kind of situation. Let's just solve that problem. Turn the money off. Everybody will go back home, wherever home's going to be. There's nothing left in Gaza. I mean, it could be called a brickyard because that's all that's left is the bricks. Isn't that unfortunate? I often thought about half the guys from the Dunkin Donuts group who would be great ambassadors between Israel and the Palestinians because these four guys I'm thinking about don't like anybody. So their purpose in life is, do what I say or I'll kill you. And they did that for a lot of years because they were military men, so they have experience. So yeah, let's do that. Let's send these four guys over. We'll all give them titles like El Supremo or Supremo number 2, and section off Israel and Gaza in 4 pieces, and put El Supremo 3 in charge of section 3, and let him do whatever he wants. Just turn a blind eye. Oh no, we don't need to see this. You don't need to see how the sausage is made, Otherwise, if you know how the sausage is made, you won't eat it. That's an old butcher's joke. You like sausage? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you don't want to see how it's made. You get it? We live in the past. We're boomers. The last thing we solved was Habib's kids are back from uh, college and they're working at Dunkin Donuts. And his two daughters are wonderful people, just salt of the earth. His two sons are so entitled, I want to smack them right in the mouth. They both have these fancy cars and they're all dressed in the nines. And when they're working behind the counter, if they get powdered sugar on them, they run out into the bathroom to get it off. You know, Neither one of them I'd give you a plug nickel for. Now, plug nickel means that it's a nickel somebody shot a hole in, and that's called a plug nickel, and it used to be worth more than a nickel. That's a very old saying. I know that doesn't make sense to half of you because you don't watch westerns. But if you watched westerns, plug nickels, people would throw nickels up and then people would shoot at them, and sometimes they hit them, and it was worth a lot of money. But that's another story. God help me. All right, well, that's Dunkin' Donuts. That's the wrap up on Dunkin' Donuts. These guys were so. I think everybody laid off the Zoloft today, and were functioning on at least three cylinders. Because you normally, half of these guys are supplementing their Zoloft with their THC and going back for the CBD for their joints, and then getting a melatonin to take their nap. That's a funny joke. Did you see the progression of all the chemicals? You guys don't laugh enough. Anyway, the last thing is uh, we had a record-breaking coyote shot, 74 pounds. This is coyotes used to be 30 pounds, 35 pounds. They were big as fisher cats or bobcats, but they're interbreeding with dogs now, and I know across the country, a lot of people have problem with coyotes, but I would like to hear from across the country how big your coyotes are, because ours are getting pretty damn big. Now, Cooper is 87.4 as of a week ago. This coyote was just a little bit smaller than he is. Think about that. That, yeah, I think we'll go from a 22 to a shotgun from now on when we're looking for a coyote, because I'm not having no 70-pound dog jumping my ass with a coyote mentality. 70-pound dog with a coyote mentality. I think I'll send that into the DEC because they've been breaking my chops so much illegally. Do something about the coyote problem. Oh, what about your wolves? The ones you released in the Adirondack. Oh man, I got to bring that up at the next Dunkin' Donuts meeting. That'd be a good topic, wouldn't it? All right, enough. I'm Tom Newetner. I'm the conversationalist. I'm here because I have something to say. I hope you're listening. Share it, comment on it, especially if you don't agree with me. You don't have to argue with me, but if you don't agree, let's talk about it. That would be nice. Joshua, thank you for all you do. I appreciate everything you've done for me and it will do for me. Also, remember, PAD, peripheral artery disease. Go see Kim. And last but not least, rock on, brothers and sisters. We're going for education and music in February. Something to look into. You know how it is. It's dreary here in February. Let's do something different. Support these people. I'm Tom Newetner, the conversationalist. Hope you enjoyed this. I'm out.